So you are in for a real treat this afternoon. So today, as you can see here on the title of the webinar today, is Healthcare Business Made Easy, our award-winning technology. And so, folks, as you're getting ready, and as we just get started right up here at the top of the hour, again, we want to welcome you here this afternoon. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is Eric Ogea. I'm the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems. And hopefully, there we go. I think that slide finally coming up there. Patrick Phillips. Patrick is a former Apple executive that whenever they were actually here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, he was one of their executives here at Apple. He's a bestseller of several books and one that's about to come out. That'll be great for us to be able to share with you here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Cash Crunch to Cash Flow, How to Reprogram Yourself, are some great books. Let us know how you'd like to get a copy of it. We'll see about getting you a copy of it, even if it's an electronic format. We could possibly be able to get you one as those. Nationally recognized speaker and on the editorial board of Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. And let's get Patrick on over here. Patrick, it's good to have you here this afternoon.
Thank you, Eric. This is going to be exciting. We've never done this before.
Never have. This is actually something you and I have been kicking around for quite some time. So I'm excited about it.
Well, it's all in the hands of GoToWebinar technology. Let's see if it works smoothly.
Absolutely. Well, I know there's a couple of articles that you've come across and some other statistics that we want to kind of get into. And because, folks, that we are going to be so heavily involved on the internet this afternoon, Patrick, I don't know if you're ready. We can shut off our webcams. I think everybody knows who we are. But before we do that, why don't you explain to everybody the benefit of being a part of American Business Systems and for us doing these demos for our licensees, because that's kind of what we're showcasing here today.
Yeah, what we're about to show you is a preview of a live demo that our company does for you. Once you sign up and become a licensee, a business owner of your own medical revenue cycle management company, then we are going to be doing these demos for you, for your prospective doctors. In other words, doctors are always interested in the latest in technology. They want to see that what you're doing as a billing company is going to really help them increase their revenue, right? That's what it's all about, the bottom line. So we do these live demos for you, for the doctor. You can both be on here at the same time, just like we're all on here on this GoTo meeting today. And they can watch a live demo of the latest cloud-based technology. It blows them away.
And those are some of the things we're going to show you this afternoon while we go through here. So I think we're burning up all the bandwidth that we can so far right now, Patrick. So I'm going to go ahead and shut my video camera off here. And I think we're good there. So everybody knows who we look like and how we're going to go about it. But before we jump right into there, Patrick, you want to kind of go over this. This was an article that was just sent out to you and to the rest of the team today.
Well, we picked this up from HIT, which is a website for health information technology. And as you can see, it was actually published there. Eric, you might even circle that. I don't know if you've got your little marker there. But it came out in January of this year. So at the very first of the year, here's what they found out. That 66% of the providers out there focus on improving their revenue cycle management in 2016. In other words, the very thing that you do for doctors, helping them with their revenue cycle management, their revenue that comes into the practice, 66% of them want to focus on improving that in 2016. That's why, folks, if there ever was a time that in history, really, in the United States, that doctors are open to having a company like yourself come in and say, we can help you with your revenue cycle. Believe me, they're all zeroed in on that right now because of all the changes that have happened in the healthcare field in the last couple of years.
Absolutely, and that's just the beginning, Patrick. I know that we're going to show a few of these, and this is an organization that is a third party, as we can see here, that they do polling and surveys, market research, opinion mining, and customer satisfaction results. What we're about to show you here are some pretty heavy statistics, very much concerning those that are looking to get into the medical billing business. And let's talk about this first one here, because as we can see here, it says that 91% of business managers, and this is of doctor's office, fears the ramifications of their outdated and or autopiloted revenue management systems, particularly those not integrated to the EHRs. Now, folks, you've got to really zone in on that part right there, because that's what we're going to be showing you this afternoon. Will force their physicians to sell their entire practice operations to a larger physician group or hospitals within the next 12 months, or face practice dissolution. Patrick, that's it's a pretty key, heavy statistic right there.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, 91% of anything is big. This is all the business managers for any type of health organization out there, medical practice, fear that all this new autopiloted revenue cycle management systems and the electronic health records, that's the EHR that you see there, that's going to force doctors out of practice within the next 12 months. Why? Because it's way too overwhelming for those doctors to try to get up to speed on technology and all the different things they have to get ready for all this to be in place. We're going to show you today with our cloud-based solution to this, how that you can solve these problems for doctors.
You want to take this one right here, Patrick?
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. 90% of business managers in practices still independent confirmed that an innovative, seamless revenue cycle management, practice management, electronic health record system would ensure long-term practice independence and greatly improve productivity and profitability. Now, folks, we want to make this clear. You are not selling the doctor on any sort of software or system. We, though, behind the scenes, you'll be using our seamless revenue cycle management system, which you might think of as just a medical billing system, but it's way more than that, as you'll see today. That means that you have something that can help the doctors feel like that they are going to stay independent in their own practices and not be bought up by some of the larger groups. That's what they want, but they can't do it unless they know that somebody can help them with that. And you're the person that can help them.
Yeah.
We'll teach you how to do that.
Yeah. And that key thing there was that they're looking for a seamless and really, as we're going to show today, a very integrated type of system. Also, Black Book rankings mentioned that 89% of all physician practices agree that their billing and collection system processes need upgrading. And Patrick, I know that we hear this quite often. Aren't doctors already using a computer software system already?
Yes, a lot of them already are using some kind of system, but they're constantly having to update and upgrade those systems, very costly. Some of them have to hire full-time IT guys to manage their networks and their update of their softwares and the viruses and all those other things. Folks, you can come in and take all of that headache away from the practice by saying, just outsource your billing to me, and I'll show you with our technology why you will still have all the control and access that you've ever wanted, but not have to do the billing yourself internally.
Now, the next few slides that we're going to show here are starting to drill down to some of the critical areas. And look here, Patrick, it's showing here that 21% are considering an upgrade of their revenue cycle management within the next 6 to 12 months.
And more importantly, 88% expect a current RCM system upgrade within 6 months. So folks, they're constantly having to think about this to keep up with all the rules and regulations and changes. You don't have to worry about that, and neither do they with our cloud-based system, because every time you log into our system from any computer in the world that's connected to the internet, you're using the latest updated version of that. We keep that updated constantly. And then look at this, 42% of all small physician practices that, are 1 to 5 doctors in a practice with employed billing staff hope to outsource their billing in the next 12 months. Now, Eric, that is exactly the business we're in, right? Teaching our licensees how to show the doctor that they should outsource their billing. And imagine that, folks, almost half of all the small practices out there are wanting to do that this year.
Yeah, and so, with these statistics that we're showing you here should be enough to give you an arsenal of information that as you're going out there and as you're thinking and as you're doing your due diligence to see whether this is a business that you should be in, you can see this is not coming from American Business Systems. It's coming from a third-party group of people that actually do this, and it's incredible information as we are seeing here. Now, part of what we want to do today is to lay the foundation of where medical billing used to be and where it is today. And Patrick, I know that you're very familiar with that thing on the left-hand side. I think that was called a typewriter at one time.
Yeah, for young people on here, that's an antique, and you may have never seen one in real life. But my wife actually used, well, not that old one. She used an electric typewriter, but she actually used that to do the first billing that she did back in 1987. And it starts.
Let's talk about that, because
yeah. Sorry. It starts with this form that you're about to see, which is called the super bill. This is something you've probably seen from your doctor. They hand it to you as you walk up front, to get your final checkout there. This is what the doctor looks at. And sometimes they're actually using paper. But back in the early days, it was all on paper. Many of them still are. I just got one from my doctor the other day. So then it has to be put onto a form that the government came up with that you see on the right there. This is called a HCFA. Back then, HCFA, it stands for Healthcare Finance Administration. Now it's called the CMS, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services form. 1500 is the number of the form. And so when we refer to the 1500 form, that's it. If you can fill out that one piece of paper on the right there, you can do medical billing. The great news is you don't have to do it on a typewriter anymore.
No, matter of fact, it certainly has evolved to, the next level here, as we're seeing. Now it moved from the doctor having this super bill, but however, it was still utilizing a computer system which still spits out that form. I mean, I think as time progressed, instead of just typing it out, you were able to put it on a computer program, and then you had to put this form in your printer and then print it out.
Yeah, we used those little continuous form. They were little holes on the side that ran through a dot matrix printer, and we would print all those at the end of the day. But you still had to stuff them in an envelope and address the envelope and put a stamp on it and mail it into the insurance companies. That's the type of software you're looking at right here on the screen, folks. It's called server-based software. It resides on your hard drive that you see there.
Right. Now, moving up a little bit further into time and history here, that now as time has grown, now you've got the doctor still using a paper form. Someone's now putting into a server-based system and or even a web-based system, but they're still having to force this thing through a clearinghouse. Now, we're going to talk about what a clearinghouse is in just a moment, but we want to now show you whenever medical billing started to evolve, it went from just putting that on a piece of paper, making sure everything was done properly on there, and then actually putting it in the mail. But whenever it started to be submitted electronically, this third-party partner right here, the clearinghouse, had to be involved before it actually got out to the insurance companies, as you're seeing here. So this is still being in use with a lot of doctors' offices today. Wouldn't you agree, Patrick?
Yeah, at the end of the day, they do what's called a batch upload of all the claims. So everything they put into that computer system on their computer there, they upload through a internet or modem connection of some sort directly to this clearinghouse. And again, we'll talk about the clearinghouse and the purpose of those. But then they reformat those claims for all the different insurance companies and forward on those claims to them. So it's still a very time-consuming, convoluted way of doing it compared to the way we do it.
Yeah, and now even talking about the electronic medical records, now even though that doctors have now switched from using paper and maybe now they're using some type of electronic medical record system or EMR system, that's the only thing that's really changed. It still goes through the same process of a clearinghouse, then finally to the insurance companies. Now, I want to pause here just real quickly, because what you'll find, even there out there today, that you will see an electronic medical records system being a third-party system This system here being a third-party system, and then this here being a third-party technology partner in there as well. Now, Patrick, one of the things that we just saw in those statistics is that office managers and doctors are looking for a seamless, integrated system. That this is key, that we kind of drive this home right now.
Yeah, because folks, there are companies out there that do something similar to what a American Business Systems does, but what they've done is they've pieced together all of these things from third parties. They don't own the electronic medical record system, for example, that ties in through a convoluted way behind the scenes with their practice management billing system. Number two there. And thirdly, they have you set yourself up with whatever clearinghouse you think might be doing a good job out there. Well, you don't know anything about clearinghouses if you haven't been in this business. So we've taken all of that off the table and said, you know what? It needs to be truly seamless where everything is integrated, all three of those pieces integrated into one. And then the doctor will get paid faster. They will get paid more, because we won't lose claims and have claims turned down like they are now.
And that's what leads us to what we have as a package for you as an ABS licensee. We actually do have a practice management system, electronic medical records, a clearinghouse, and folks, this is the biggest differentiator that you're going to find out there altogether. But however, also a patient portal that works all together. This is the seamless integration that doctors' offices are looking for. So now let's kind of look at this in a different manner. Now the doctors can use our EMR system, which will go directly into the billing system that you're going to be dealing with. But folks, if you can see right there in the middle, right there, our clearinghouse is actually built in directly into our billing system. Therefore, you're going from our system directly now to the insurance companies. And you can see how less busy it is whenever you've got a seamless integrated system. Patrick?
Yeah, let me back up here just for a second. You see the doctor up there in the corner, the one that has no face but a mustache. He is using an iPad. That's an illustration of an iPad. Any tablet or iPad could be used. But you'll notice that our system has these large, those little squares and rectangles you see on there, those are buttons that are touch sensitive. So the doctor is looking right at his iPad, looking over that iPad into the eyes of the patient, and actually doing what he would normally do on a piece of paper or a laptop using his iPad. And they love this. That information about that patient and the visit goes directly into the system that you will be using. Remember, it's cloud-based, so it's instantaneous. This doctor could push a button on that and put information in, and it would be instantly available to you in the billing system, the iClaim practice management system. So it's just wonderfully integrated when you actually see it all put together like this.
So we're going to just show you just real briefly, first of all, and just, big blocks here and big chunks of information. The iClaim system, as you're looking at it right now, and this is what you're actually going to see here live in just a moment. We're going to actually kind of take you through on a little tour here. But folks, what I want to show you here is this is where we're going to be spending our time. That's going to be like right in this area, right here where the patients are. And the reason we want to show this area to you, because when we start to do the demonstration for you, for your doctor, when we're all doing a go-to meeting together, we know already how they already register new patients. It's a long, lengthy process, and that's one of the things I'm going to demonstrate to you here in a moment. But what we're going to be able to do is showcase to that doctor a way to do business differently. And that is, instead of just trying to register and type in a name of a patient here, we're actually going to tell them and teach them how to use this eligibility request first, and then populate the entire patient demographics. We're talking about name, address, phone number. Folks, that's going to come directly from the insurance company. This is the game changer here. This is where we like to start, because as we'll go through here in just a moment, we're going to treat this as though we have your doctor on the webinar today. And one of the things that doctors hate to lose on is their money. And where their money gets lost is because their staff gets so busy, and sometimes they check insurance eligibility, sometimes they don't. But one of the things that you're going to find out here is now, if they do get that done and get that task taken care of, when they actually do put the patient information in there, sometimes they mistype a name, an address, a phone number, and that just sets them up to have their claims not paid. So when we show this to the doctors, this is where we really turn their heads and help you, again, secure that doctor pretty doggone quickly. And Patrick, I think, again, our last statistics that we have is for every 2 demos that we're doing, we're helping our licensees at least close 1 of them.
Yeah, that's important to let that sink in, folks. We are doing the demos for you, for your doctor who's a prospective client. And we're closing about half of all the doctors that are on there. They move forward with the licensee and become clients. That's unheard of in any industry, but you're about to see why. Because when you see this live, as the doctor will, and remember, we do about an hour-long demo for the doctor. You're just going to see a little 15-minute preview of this today. It blows them away. They literally cannot believe what they're seeing, and you can actually hear them behind the scenes saying, "Did you see that? Man, we need something like that." I mean, all kinds of comments come across as you're watching these demos. So let that sink in. And folks, that's a part of your license. When you become an ABS licensee, we do those demos for you free forever. There's never a cost for that. By the way, I'm going to address one question that came in, Eric.
Sure.
It kind of ties in with what we've already talked about here. I've already answered 2 questions, by the way, Eric, from Yag, who is a licensee. He's already coming to training. And I answered those privately to him. I don't know if you still see those in your question list there or not.
I do. Yep.
But I see one from Edward. Edward says, do we provide the iPad to the doctor, or do they get their own? Edward, the way we teach you to do it, because there is a setup fee involved in getting the doctor up and running when you sign the doctor, is to include that iPad cost in your proposal. And so you can tell the doctor that you are giving them an iPad, and they absolutely love that too. Or if they already have one, of course, they can use the one they have.
Yep. And Patrick, you mentioned earlier about the EMRx or the electronic medical records, how these buttons are big. And actually, folks, if the doctor, you come in and you got a compression fracture, all the doctor has to do is tap on that particular button right there. And instead of them having to search and try to hunt down for the right code, now obviously we see that we're showcasing the ICD-9 and the ICD-10, but the ICD-9s are in there for the doctors to, because that's what the doctors still recognize. They don't know all the ICD-10s, but the system will convert the ICD-9s now to an ICD-10. So let me explain that to you. There's just a new version of what's called the diagnosis codes. For those that are first-time listeners and you're wanting to know what in the world are we talking about here, this is a code, and this is actually the first code that goes in for the billing. It is just in a numeric, an alphanumeric now, which is the new version of how it's going, and it converts from, the system will actually convert from 9 to 10 automatically for the doctors. That's the important part of how the system works today. Now, one more thing we want to show you before we actually pop in on the live side here, and that's this thing called the clearinghouse. Patrick, you want to kind of take this and let's talk really quickly about a clearinghouse and what they do, and then how it's important within our system.
All right, so we've already told you that our clearinghouse is integrated into our system. Both the iClaim system and the EMRx, they're all integrated, remember, written by the same programmers, hosted on the same servers. There's no third-party plugins or anything here, folks. But the clearinghouse basically acts, as it says here, as a direct portal to the insurance payers. And they're doing a lot of things there for those insurance companies because, for example, it intercepts any claim that may have errors from hitting their internal system, just to have the claim rejected by the insurance company and marked not paid. So a clearinghouse is very important, that those claims are scrubbed as much as they can and prompts you to make those corrections before it submits those to the insurance companies. Then, once your claim passes our clearinghouse, it's allowed to proceed on to the payer, to the insurance company, and this provides you a very unique difference in the market than other medical billing services, simply due to the fact that you're going to have lower rejections and expedited reimbursements. Folks, here's what that means. More money for the doctor, faster. There.
That's it. You can't make it any clearer than that. Is getting those doctors paid in a much more timely fashion than really ever before.
Hey,
all
Eric,
right, I think yes, sir. Go right ahead.
I know you're about to switch over there to the live screen. So while you're doing that, let me answer a couple of questions here. Brandy, for example, heard me say something about a setup fee earlier, that you would include the iPad in that. And she says, how much is the average setup fee? Now, Brandy, that has so many components to it. We teach you to do a practice analysis to find out what the volume of claims are, how many doctors there are in the practice. There's lots of things involved in what the setup fee will be. But believe me, doctors are used to paying huge fees to get set up on an electronic medical record system, for example, sometimes $5,000, $10,000. So if I had to give you an average, it would probably be between $1,500 and $2,500. Remember, that fee is all yours. It covers your setup fees to get all of the doctors set up in our system, of course. And you always have plenty of room in there to throw in an iPad. You can get an iPad nowadays for, what, $3.99. So it just depends on the circumstances for that particular client. Eric, let's see. I got a couple of other things here coming in I can address if you want me to. Are you ready, or whenever you're ready?
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let me see if I can get this up here, and then I'll show my screen.
All right, so I see questions from Felita and Brandy and Yag and another one. Well, yeah, so I will address all of these guys. We're going to get to all of them today. So now,
all right, so folks, we're going to actually, again, we're going to start right here in this area right here. And so you ought to be able to see my screen here, and hopefully this is, let me see here something real quickly. I'm going to show my entire screen here. This will give us the opportunity to see. Let me address that there. There we go. Now you should be able to see where I'm circling there, right there. All right, so what's happening here is that we're actually live. We're on iClaim and getting ready to go off on here. And folks, whenever we get started with the doctor, I usually start talking to those doctors immediately and saying, tell me how you register a new patient. Is it what you're seeing here on the screen? Do you normally have to go through this whole setup here where you're having to put in a first name, a last name, and you're having to get all of this in there? And the office manager will always say, yes, that's exactly what we have to do. And I'll stop and pause here for a moment and just simply ask them, can you tell me that whether or not that when you get this done in here and you're getting your patient set up in here for the doctor, do you ever find that you have errors here and that's causing some of your claims not to be processed? 100% of the time, everybody says yes. Matter of fact, Brandy, that's actually on here today, did one for her, and she's actually a certified professional coder. And if I could have her talk right now, it would just be incredible. But hey, she knows exactly what we're talking about.
She did put a comment. Sorry.
Oh, good. If you see that, go ahead and read that comment.
Well, she was just telling us that there's 15,000 of the ICD-9 codes that they were using for years, and now these new ICD-10 has 75,000 codes. So yeah, thanks for that, Brandy.
Yeah, she knows her stuff there. So whenever I was showing her this, I said, Brandy, how often, whenever you were working in a doctor's office, that the patient demographics that you see here were getting messed up? You didn't have always the time to check insurance eligibility. And she goes, all the time. So I said, look, this is what we'd like to show the doctors right off the bat, and that is to start off in here and go right here where it says eligibility request. Now, what happens here is that we're actually doing something a little bit differently than they're accustomed to. Because normally, everybody's gone to the doctor. You've probably handed them your little insurance card, and it says, you know, United Healthcare or Blue Cross Blue Shield or Medicare. They've taken that, and what do? They take it, they run it through a copy machine, and then that gets stuck in your file somewhere. Remember, now they're doing paper. They've gone out and done paper again. And so what we're able to do is keep them from having to do all of this paper, what I would call paper noise here, and go straight into doing 4 things here. So you can see here, the first thing they're going to do is select a payer. That payer is going to be all the doctor's payers that they're associated with, whether it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare, Medicaid, United Healthcare, Aetna, whatever it might be. They're going to do step 2. They're going to look it up by subscriber ID. Now, this is what's actually on the card, the number that's on your card. So they're going to look it up by that. They're going to check now certain search criteria, enter search criteria. So the next thing they're going to have to do is actually enter that ID right there, put the subscriber's date, a service end date, and then the service type. And that's what I'm going to kind of take you through right now. So you're going to see actually what happens here in real time. So let me switch this out to over here. So I'm going to look, first of all, I'm going to put in a subscriber ID. So you should be able to see that right there. I just put in a subscriber ID. I'm going to put in a date of birth here. And I'm going to select a service end date. Now this service end date, it's just a date somewhere in the future. Now remember, this is something that front office is doing. This is not something that you as a medical billing company is doing. But remember, we're demonstrating this to the doctor to show them a new way of doing business and capture lost revenues simply because someone's not either having time to do this, or it just gets too busy, or whatever the circumstances might be. This part of checking insurance eligibility is crucial. Now we're going to select the type that we're looking for. We're looking for health benefit plan coverage. Now that we have all of this in here, what we're going to do now is simply select and hit this submit transaction button right down here. So once I click on that, the information that comes back up on our screen is going to be this information that you see right here. Let me get this pulled up, and it should be populating on your screen right now.
Yeah.
What you're seeing here, let me kind of point out a couple things. First, remember, I did not type in this name. All I typed in was this membership ID. It went to United Healthcare, and it pulled that information now into the system. So as a front office manager, practice administrator, the doctors themselves, they're going, we've never seen anything like this. Why is it different? The reason why it's different is because we have our own clearinghouse. This gives us a unique feature in the marketplace that no other billing system has out there. Now, I will pause here just a brief moment here, because what we're not trying to do is get into software sales. Take that out of your mind. What we're trying to do is sell the doctor their cash. One of the ways that we show that is right here. First of all, we can show the doctor this person is active with their insurance company. And this is before we put in Isabella Stevens' name in at all. So now that we can ensure that doctor through these demonstrations that, doctor, we're here to help you increase your cash flow simply by changing a process in your office and utilizing iClaim. We can also see real quickly right here all the copay information that the doctor's office needs right there at a glance. But again, that's just half of the where the excitement is. The next part is right here with this. Yes.
Can I before you hit that button, let me pause here just for a second. I don't think people quite get what we're showing them here. I mean, even as I'm watching it, Eric, it's almost incredible that what we're seeing here is in real time. That means, folks, it's happening right now, today, at this exact 3:40 p.m. It's happening right now. What he did, and let me just back up even further. We're on the system as you would be on the system. You literally will go to a particular URL on the internet from any computer in the world. You'll log in with your credentials that we give you to get into the system. It's all HIPAA compliant, of course, very secure, backed up nightly, et cetera, et cetera. And you're working all across the internet with the insurance company. United Healthcare's database was just accessed live by us for this example. And it pulled in all the information on the screen into our system. So think about the errors. I just got a message here from Brandy. Remember, she's the certified coder that's on here with us today. And she says, this is where the errors happen. This is where it happens.
Right.
People typing things in wrong.
Right.
So anyway, I just want to, hey, I don't think people appreciate what they're seeing here. You know, it's just, just way beyond. You can't do this with a server-based software, folks. You can't do it because it's not connected through a clearinghouse like we have. Okay. All right. I got that out of my system.
Yeah, okay, good. Now, again, this part right here is the most exciting part, because now, remember, everything that was once in yellow in that screen that we showed you just a moment ago of a blank patient chart, now we can come right here and create a chart. Now, all I got to do, let me get this, let me erase these here, and now I can come right over here and create this chart. And whenever I create this chart, remember what's going to happen here. It's actually going back out to United Healthcare and bringing all this information directly back into the system. You've got to remember, all of this was blank at first. Now, hey, Patrick, you don't know how bad I wish I could put Brandy on the call right now, because she knows what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But listen, what we've just been able to do, the process of what we've just showed you within the last, gosh, even with Patrick talking there just a little bit, within the last 2 to 3 minutes. This normal process takes from getting a patient intake form, having someone to type this out, put all all the insurance information in there as well, then call the insurance to verify that this patient has insurance. Folks, that could have taken at a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes. Now, Patrick, I want that to sink in for us just a second, because not only have we been able to show the doctor in a live demonstration without showing them how well we can do their billing, all we've been able to do is improve a process that reduces the amount of time it takes their staff to check a patient in, then even create a brand new patient demographic. And this is where I like to tell the doctor, this is where we can make an immediate cash flow increase within your practice within the next 30 days.
Hey, I gotta read this comment here from LaTanya. She says, as she's watching this, she says, I believe what you're saying. She says, this is an awesome system to show to the doctors. I know I work as a claims examiner for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and those errors were crazy. This has me sold. Thank you. Thank you, LaTanya.
Yeah, there you go. Now, let's take it one step further. We've got a little bit more time, because I want to kind of blend all of this together, really let what we're talking about here sink in. Now that we've got Isabella Stevens into our system, now we can go over to our calendar and then have her populate and come right into our calendar system, as you can see right here. So as we go right into here, you can see now I'm going to go ahead and put in a slot, let's say 10 a.m. or let's say, well, we're actually after 3 o'clock right now. So let's put it down here, way down here at, say, 4 p.m. Central Time. So I'm going to click on her, and I'm going to set up an appointment right here. But folks, I want you to watch what's going to happen here. Whenever I click save, you're going to see there's a little green button right there. Now I'm going to click on her name. Guess what that's telling us? It's showing us again that she is active with her insurance company. Now, let me also say this, folks. I've had doctors, while we're doing these demos, asking me, Eric, can this help me with people that are on the Affordable Care Act that they're paying for their own insurance? Will this keep up with that? I said, not only will it keep up with that, and it'll keep it up in real time, but now I'm going to go into the future, doctor, because I want you to see something that's probably the most incredible thing that you'll ever see outside of what I've just shown you right here. And that is right up here at the top, under calendar, under schedule, and that is this eligibility work list. Now let me show this to you just real quickly. I'm going to go out to Friday. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. I'm going to go out to Friday. Now look here, again, we are, again, in real time. So look at your dates there. We've got March the 6th, 7th, and 8th. So we're going to go out to Friday. How about, doctor, I can show you all the people that are you're going to see on Friday right in here, and I can show you the patients that you're going to see. And here's what I want to show you, doctor. Out of the 5 people that you're going to see on Friday, 2 of them, the insurances have already been verified. The rest of these that you have on your calendar, these are non-revenue time slots for you already. So instead of you and your staff checking that after you've seen Darren Brooks, Jeff Carey, and Steve Smith, we can look into the future and have your staff correct these prior to. So stop chasing your money.
Hey, now you really do hear the doctors say, wow. I mean, it's like it dawns on them in that they're now seeing that they have control over their time, because folks, they do spend time with patients that are not gonna, the insurance is not gonna pay for the visit. This lets them know that, because we're again dealing with a built-in clearinghouse that's doing all this in real time. And Eric, doesn't it even check for these things, even if the appointment's a month away, when they come into the office, it'll check again, won't it?
Yes, it will. It'll check it. It constantly checks it. It's doing all of this work in real time instead of for those that LaTanya and Brandy, those that do have billing experience, they're the ones that are they're the ones that go on. Yes, I hear you. Matter of fact, let me just, Brandy, I hope you don't mind me using your name. She says, Eric, the biggest thing that people just don't get is this. They just don't understand the power that they have with a system like this, because they can literally change a doctor's life. From me working in a doctor's office, I know what this can do. So let me just kind of, share that little testimony from Brandy, from me to you, of what she would be saying. This is exactly what's going on in a doctor's office, and for the people that actually work in that doctor's office, how this themselves would save them time. And remember, when we get through doing a demo like this for you, you're right there in front of the doctor. So you're there watching their body language, you're hearing all the little whisperings and everything, and you want to get in really tight in with that office manager. And after the demo is, just simply look at them and say, can't you see how this can literally change your life? And they'll go, yes, absolutely, there's no doubt. And when you leave, guess what they're doing? They are constantly in that doctor's ear, telling that doctor, I don't know what else you're thinking about, but this is something that we have to have in our practice.
Yeah, Eric, people sometimes ask us, aren't the office managers worried that they're going to lose their job? Well, of course, if they're doing the billing or overseeing the billing, they may be thinking that. But folks, we actually work with those office managers. We teach you how to make them the hero and the one that's actually showing the doctor this system. There's always better things that they can be doing with their time than dealing with the insurance companies and the billing. So Eric, here's a great question from Cynthia. She says, hi, how are you able to have an exclusive built-in clearinghouse system? Are you saying that you're the only billing company that has this? Now remember, Cynthia, it's a great question. We're not a billing company. American Business Systems is a training and support company for medical people who want to get into medical billing. So once you go through our training and become what we call a certified revenue manager, you are going to be the person who is using the system. And the answer is yes. We are the only company out there that has the built-in clearinghouse system that you're seeing right here.
Yeah, that is so true. Well, Patrick, I know that I'm excited. I mean, know how much I would love to be able to go so much further into depth. But folks, what we want to do right now, we've got about 10 more minutes of the webinar, and we want to kind of take some time to go ahead and take some more of your questions. But let this all kind of sink in. Folks, all we were able to do and it took us about 15 minutes just to kind of go through that, but let that kind of sink in for you, to share with you the power that you do have. Patrick and I have done so many webinars. Matter of fact, we did one, oh gosh, Patrick, it was a few months ago, where we said, get plugged into American Business Systems, because you will be powered by American Business Systems. folks, that's what you need getting started in a medical billing company. Certainly you can go out there, you can go try to go start your own medical billing company anytime that you want to, but you're going to struggle, you're going to stumble, because what we just did, no one will be able to do for you except for what we do here at American Business Systems.
Yeah,
and we will take the doctor through each one of these 4 sections here during the demos.
Yeah, we didn't cover the patient portal today, folks, just for lack of time. As you can see, we're getting close to the hour. But we can even show you the patient portal part of this, and you'll be amazed how the patient has the ability to go online, again, from any computer in the world, log into the patient portal, see their own records, make their own appointments online, see the medications that they've had. All of it, all their history is right there, and it's all tied in with our system just as tightly as what you've seen today. Now, one of the things that Frank has asked here, Eric, is what is the frequency of demos that we can request from you? Frank, we hope you ask for demos 3 times a day. We don't care how many that we do for you, because we know that the more doctors you sign up, the better it is for you and for us, because we make a few pennies on each of the transactions that go through our system. So we're in partnership. When you become an ABS licensee, we truly are partnered with you. When you make money, we make money. Hey, that's the American way, and it's worked for us for 22 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, if you've got any more questions here, I know that we've got, I bet you we could go through. I mean, there's a ton of questions that are coming in. I saw Brandy says, just please unmute me. I'll hop on here right now. But I wish we could, but for the way that we've got the system set up. But Brandy, if we need to, we'll put you on there anytime that we need to. But this is, again, just kind of closing this thing out here. What we want to do here is, as we show this last slide here, we want you to ask us to schedule a live demo for you. If you haven't gotten with your business coach that you're working with to sit down and go through a demonstration of the software, get with them. They'll be happy to get that scheduled with you. They'll go into depth with you on this. And, it's just amazing. And that's just, between you and your business coach. Now imagine us being there with you, doing that demonstration as we've done, and we take all the questions from the doctor. We literally do, 20, 25 demos a week, I would guess, Patrick, that get done. And so imagine us doing these demos for you. We're answering the questions of the doctors, no matter if they're just a regular family doctor, a cardiologist, a urologist, a podiatrist, pediatrics, whatever it might be. We're there to help answer those questions for you, to help relieve you, especially when you're just getting started out. That's why we're here. That's why we give you that unlimited amount of demos, unlimited support as you need through that.
As you know, Eric, towards the end of these webinars, the questions start pouring in, and I'm going to answer every one of them. So let's get to the guarantee, and let me turn on my video camera here just for a second to look people in the eye as I say this. Folks, many, many years ago, we decided that we wanted to make it a no-brainer for people deciding to get into our business. So we came up with a guarantee that's unheard of in franchising and business opportunities, and that is that you can come to our live training workshop here in Dallas, sit through that training for a full week, and at the end of the week, if for any reason you decide that this is just not right for you, for any reason, it doesn't matter the reason, you just ask any of us and we'll give you a full refund of your license fee. That is, every penny that you've paid to ABS is refunded to you, no questions asked. And that's because we know what we have, and we know once people go through the training, and Eric, if they'll look at some of the testimonials out there on our blog, they'll find out, won't they, that people are just overwhelmed and thrilled and very surprised that this is as real as we say it is on these webinars. Folks, there's a lot of stuff going on out there on the web, right? It's the wild, wild west. People are scamming people left and right. We realize that. That's why we tell you to go to the Fort Worth Better Business Bureau and check us out. we've got the highest rating they have and have had for years and years. You don't get that by mistreating people. So anyway, I just wanted to tell people about the guarantee. That's very important. People know, hey, I'm not sure if this is real or not. I'm going to go down there and find out. That's fine. We want you to do that.
Well, let's show this here too, Patrick, because I think before we take any other questions here, folks, if you want to, you can go start your own medical billing company. Here is the EHRS book. I think Patrick has a copy of it somewhere. He's turning around and trying to find it there. But start your own medical claims billing service, your step guide to success. Now, this is put out by Entrepreneur Magazine. He's showing it right there on the screen. But if you'll turn to the back there, Patrick, so you can show people there, it is, yep, there it is, right there.
I'm sure that's not showing up very well, but there it is.
Yep, there you go. It shows American Business Systems right there. So we've got a copy. We took a picture of it, put it right there on the screen. Entrepreneur Magazine recognizes that, yes, you can go start your own medical billing company, but Entrepreneur Magazine also recognizes that you might need some help. And there are business opportunities out there. There are only 2 listed, and I think, Patrick, you said the other company is out of business. Folks, we're going on our 23rd year of being in business here at American Business Systems. So, folks, what we have, we were able to demonstrate to you today, nobody has the capabilities of helping you get a client as quickly and as positively as we can do it with you here at ABS.